Really liked our start, our first half, obviously holding them to 17 points. And then in the second, only 7. I thought we were really locked in, and obviously the rebounding battle was important, something we've really been working on and emphasizing, which again, we always do, but I don't care how big or small anyone is, it's about production, are we getting it done? So 49 to 29 and 17 to 4, I really like that, and we're going to need that going into Sunday, as Michigan's one of the top rebounding teams in the country. So a lot of good things. Our offense, you know, they play that 3-2, they kind of try to slow us down a little bit, and you know, I think we settled when we got aggressive and got punching gaps and gotten some paint touches. Then we were able to have a better flow offensively, and we just weren't hitting threes. So we can't fall in love with the 3 when people zone us, and we're going to see a lot of it as we get into some of these games and even into conference play, and we got to do a better job of it. So I thought that was good, though. It gives us good experience of seeing a team that plays a zone like that and really tries to pack it in. So a lot of good things, a lot of things we need to tighten up as we go into Michigan on Sunday.
Questions for student athletes? Just raise your hand and we'll get you a mic.
I guess for either of you, it looked like defensively there were quite a bit of conversations. What would you guys kind of assess where you were defensively tonight? What do you need to clean up by Sunday?
I think just kind of our coverages, like as bigs, we have to be a little more crisp in like the coverages and like just everybody being on the rim line and knowing kind of our principles. I feel like we kind of got away from that a little bit, and I feel like too it's hard with some of these teams. Like we just kind of like when they stand, we stand, and then we're not in the right spot. And so just kind of knowing like we have to play our style, like regardless of who we're playing, whatever point in the game. So just kind of tightening up some of those little things that we work on.
Brynn, just for you, what can this game kind of do for you as you get into Big Ten play, and what have you kind of been looking and working on this season?
I think just carrying over everything, all my confidence and stuff like that. I've taken a really big step in like my mental preparation, especially for this game. I mean, honestly, glory to God, because I was praying and then doing a bunch of stuff, but yeah, I just think my confidence is carrying over the preparation I have for this game and carrying on for other games too.
So the past few games you guys have played against smaller non-conference schools. Are you guys feeling any extra anticipation or energy going into Sunday?
I'm excited. Just kind of playing in the Big Ten and having the Big Ten season start is the best. I think like every game, you cannot have a down game, and I feel like with some of these like non-conference games, we just kind of lollygag into it. But I really feel like now that the Big Ten, like we're gonna have that energy, we're gonna be able to, go into these games excited. It's good competition. Like it's just fun. Like the Big Ten is so fun.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Kendall said. Just Big Ten is like a different era on the games. I mean, even like with the fans and the atmosphere too, just like it's super exciting. I'm excited to start.
I guess just for either player, what maybe have you learned from those first couple of high major games that you played that you feel like will be significant as you get into these next 3 games, Missouri, Michigan, Arkansas?
I definitely feel like they've shown us a lot of different things that we don't normally see, and I really feel like that has kind of helped kind of show like what we need to work on and kind of pinpoint some weaknesses or things that we need to get better at. So I really think them just kind of playing us all these different ways, the zone 3-2, 2-3, man, all that stuff. So I really think it's just kind of help us kind of know what we need to fine tune before Big Ten starts.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And just like the variety of teams we play, they've all different like playing styles, and I think that's definitely helped us in having to adjust to that too.
Yes, Brynn, is there anything when you're on the floor that you're able to do that you kind of feel like you're in a rhythm? Like it looks like you're in one. Is there like 1 or 2 things that you kind of know like, okay, I'm feeling it?
I would say, I guess when I rebound a lot in the beginning, I feel like when I'm crashing the boards hard, if I don't get the rebound, I feel like that gets me into my rhythm. I don't like overthink, like, oh, where am I going on defense or what am I doing on offense? It's like when I focus on playing defense hard and crashing the boards hard, that definitely gets me into my rhythm.
Anything else for the student athletes? All right. Thanks, you guys.
I guess, Shauna, what'd you kind of make of where you guys were defensively tonight, and if there were shortcomings, maybe where'd you see some of those crop up?
Just the consistency of it, you know, and I know I want it to be perfect every possession, and I know that's not realistic, but just, again, I thought we were sharp early in the first and even the second, but we just gotta continue to have more of a singular focus of one possession at a time, which is all we kind of preach. And I know sometimes it's hard, but I think that's, you know, against some of the non-conference teams, but I think that's an excuse, so I don't ever go down that path. We gotta be disciplined, we gotta be sharp, we gotta be able to win 2 dribble wars, we gotta be able to have rotations right, we gotta be able to be locked into scout and report and know, you know, we know what this player likes to do, and we know what we're supposed to be doing to take it away. You know, those are the things that just we gotta continue to execute at a higher level, as we go into Big Ten.
Notice it was maybe 1 or 2 times you and Micaiah were kind of talking, you know, during a timeout or something, you know, when they were shooting free throws. What are you kind of talking to her about? Is it something that was specific to this game, or is it something that you kind of have found yourself doing a little bit more this season?
No, in that instance, when I was just telling her, I don't care about the turnover, I just want her to run back and match up, you know, I don't care about that, we talk a lot about what's your response, you know, there's an event that happens in the game, and what's your response, and then how quickly can you get to a positive response, so, and also I've just been trying to keep her, you know, just trying to build her confidence up nonstop. I keep telling her, you know, to shoot it, and every shot's in, and I thought she was really aggressive, and she's hitting shots today. I thought she played really well today. Even, you know, she had some turnovers that are uncharacteristic, but those will come. Like, she was aggressive, she was hitting her pull-ups, she was hitting those threes, and she was really, really active defensively on and off the ball. And so those are some things that, as, again, she's finally stacked now, maybe a week and a half of practice without having to have a day, you know, off for some reason in terms of an injury or whatever. And I think we're starting to see that. Like, I think she just looked confident to me tonight, and I think that that's great. So, you know, so that's what we were talking about in that one instance.
Is passing, like, she made some really on-point passes, is that also, it's a two-parter, also a sign that she's maybe feeling it a little bit there?
No, I think that passing is I think that's the rhythm piece, right? Obviously your shot, but then some of the passing, just knowing where your teammates are gonna be. And that comes from chemistry on the floor and practicing together, and she's missed a lot of time, you know, in the summer and then now. So I think some of those passes, and then, you know, and I also one of those times just said, I think another time you were talking about, I'm always on them, just make the simple play, make the simple pass. And that one she tried to like sling or cross court one hand, I'm like, Micaiah, just, you know, just simple pass, and, you know, just get it back now. So, you know, I think that was, her passing is a lot better, but she's still trying to make some of those, like, passes across court that we don't really need.
And the second part of that is you left her out there for, I think, the whole first quarter and a pretty, you know, halfway through the second. Was that just to try to let her get it and feel it a little bit there?
Yes, definitely intentional, and just trying to get her just those game reps and get that feel, and I thought she was getting there, so I was, okay, let's get some more of this, and so that's why I left her in a lot tonight, you know, she played the most minutes at 30, and I just wanted her in a really good groove going into Michigan, so that was why.
Coach, Brynn and Kendall noted their excitement going into Michigan. Would you say you are equally excited to see how the competitions turn out, or just a more overall intense environment like that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you play for conference play, right? Like all the non-conference is in preparation. The Big Ten and conference play is what matters, and it's what, you know, we're preparing for. So I'm super excited. You know, I can't wait to start Big Ten play. We only have one of them before Christmas this year. So this is obviously, you know, I'm not saying anything. It's not rocket science. It's a big game because every Big Ten game is big. And then home court, we got to protect your home court in this league. So we play Michigan twice this year, which is different. So, you know, every game's big, every game's exciting, and you know, so I'm ready to go.
How does this ramp up for KB, especially going into Sunday? 15 rebounds tonight, but it seems like a lot of the non-conference opponents have wanted to pull her away from the basket. That won't be the case starting Sunday in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it's been, these non-conference games have been challenging for our 4s and our 5s. Challenging, and it's not a normal Big Ten look, but also good because it's challenged us and got them some good experience in that. So, I just think too with confidence with her. So now she's coming off a 15 rebound game. She's had big rebounding games as of late, and that's a good segue into, again, Michigan, who is top whatever in the country in rebounding. Now they're going to be bigger, so she's going to have to be a little bit more disciplined and maybe one more drive back on her box out in order to get those. And we can also, they at times play 2 bigs, which is going to be a little bit. Now we can play like these games. It's almost impossible to play Hobby and KB at the same time. We can, but it's just not great matchups. So Michigan, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for us to go big with Hobby and KB, and obviously Brynn 6'3". So, and now with Brynn, hopefully this is a good segue for her too, being able to score, because when she scores, it changes us. You guys, when she was playing well last year, that was that kind of, the difference maker.
With Brynn specifically, it wasn't just the 3-pointer tonight. She seemed to get inside and get you some baskets there. What have you maybe kind of seen from her, and did you see maybe some confidence progress for her in this game?
We're constantly telling her to get in there, and she said it. It's with her, we're kind of rebounding. I think rebounding's what kind of is that spark that ignites her, because when she's focused on that and when she's crashing, even going back to last year, we were a different team. So she was really active on the boards early. She got some rebounds and then got some finishes. So those are, and some of the, if you think about some of our games here in this year, she just hasn't finished some of those. So now she's getting an and one. She's getting got to the free throw line 4 times. I don't know how many times she got there last year. She maybe not 4 the whole year. So that's a really good sign that she's being aggressive and getting in there and getting in the mix a little bit.
And Coach, what's really changed for Brynn in practice? What's changed since the beginning of the season with her as far as her development goes?
I just think a lot of this with all these guys, right, is just that confidence, and people can pour confidence into you, but a lot of that comes from just having some success on the floor. So tonight, being able to see her get square, go strong, get that finish, get the and ones, hit some of those threes. It's amazing what a few shots going through the basket it does for people. So, but she practices so hard. She hits shots in practice. She rebounds in practice. She's doing everything that she needs to do, and that's with all our guys. Like for the most part, they're all doing everything they need to be doing, and they're working in practice, and they're getting an extra, and they're putting the work in, and it will pay off. It will pay off, and tonight you saw it pay off for Brynn.
Coach, 11 total steals and blocks tonight. You stressed defense really early and improving on defense so far this season, and even when you're not having maybe your best defensive night, like in the second half, how does it feel that your players are able to make plays on the defense and just really create havoc even when they're not making the best rotations and things of that nature?
Yeah, our defense and our steals and how we force turnovers is by positioning. Like we always say, positioning is our help. So the ball's always telling you where to be. So the discipline piece and the execution piece comes from being where the ball's telling you to be. And if you're going to listen to anyone, listen to the ball, right? So it's always telling you where to be. Now there's times we're there and there's times we're not there, but a lot of those times that we are there, that's where our turnovers are coming from, because we're there and we're able to get hands on it, or we're in the right positioning and they throw the ball and we get a steal. It's not from pressure and up the line defense. That's not us. But when we can force that, that means our positioning is at a high level.
When you schedule some of these low majors, whether it's a zone team or a team that'll stretch your bigs, what are you looking for? Are you looking to get a little bit of everything in that non-conference portion, or how do you kind of approach that?
I wish I was that smart about it, but a lot of these teams, like we were begging,
Sure.
like we said. I mean, Cameron, I coached with her as an assistant at Dayton for years, so I talked her into it and pretty much begged her in July recruiting while we were sitting next to each other, and thank the Lord she came and played this game, because it was hard to get games. I mean, this is in July and we're scrambling to get one. So, and it's unfortunate for them because they've literally, they are just killed with injury bug right now. A lot of their top guys are hurt, 2 of their top players. So So some of it, I wish I could say, yeah, we did it with system but like the lower major, it's more about who, how can we get a game. Now, some of the other, the mid or higher majors, we definitely look at that. Like, who you match up with sometimes, and like there's teams I'm like, no, I don't wanna play them, cause it's not a good matchup from style. And then there's some like, okay, well, this will be good. Even Kansas State was our scrimmage. Like, it was a really good, I'm like, this will be a perfect, cause I know how they play. This is a really good game for us in a scrimmage where who cares what happens, right? But it's a high level team. They're in top 20 now. So there's a lot of thought in a lot of them, but then there's some where you just get desperate.
Yeah.
Just the next 3 games against, high major competition, what do you kind of, I know it's starting with Michigan, but what do you kind of look at this as maybe a key stretch for your team, and where you're gonna, a litmus test, I guess, as you will, for moving forward?
Yeah, we're gonna know a lot in a couple weeks, right? And you're gonna know, and even if, we wanna win them all, but even, it's like the Notre Dame and Marquette games, we learned a lot from them. And we didn't have those preparation games last year. Our first hard game was Big Ten, maybe a Missouri was in there. So I think it's gonna be good for us. And we also have 2 out of the 3 at home, which is key. So I'm gonna keep stressing, we gotta protect our home court. We gotta shoot better at home. That's one thing. We usually shoot better at home. So that's something I hope we can change that and maybe pull out who was our exhibition game? Truman State, when we shot like 60-some%. Hopefully we'll have that come back to us on Sunday.
Do you file this away as another attempt at a confidence builder for Shea and Javi as you get her Big Ten play against a really big Michigan team?
Yeah, I keep, that's why I was very intentional of giving everyone an opportunity tonight to play. I really wanted everyone to get in there. We probably could have beat them by more, but I really this is our last game that I really felt like we may have this opportunity, so I wanted, them to go in there and to see and be able to make an impact. So, we've had some good games, we have some ups and downs with some of them, but we need our bench, we need them. We need them to be able to, ready to rise to the occasion and be ready to contribute when their name's called. And like I said, we're gonna need size as we go into Big Ten. We're gonna need size on Sunday. They're big, and we're gonna have to have those guys ready to go.
I know obviously Makaira and Jen typically split the on-ball duty, but how did Makaira's time missing early, did that change any way you approach it in terms of who handles it more or less, or do you feel like it's roughly about the same?
It's funny is I don't tell them anything. They go out there and do that on their own, like with who's bringing the ball up. Now there's times if I call a set, they know I'll tell them who I want, because we have different things of who we want the action for. And they pretty much already know that anyways of who it is. But all of it just happens organically with them out there. And when they're really clicking, you can tell, like, if one needs kind of a break off the ball, they'll give it to the other. If, we call a play and it's for, someone, our point guard getting downhill, usually Jen will give it to Makaira and go. And then if it's someone with the 2 coming off more for a 3-point shot, Jen knows to give, so they're really savvy and smart with that and very connected. So I'm only telling them that when I want something specific in that moment, in that play.